Welcome everyone to our first ever virtual open house. We are so excited to talk with you all today and give you a feel for what living and learning at St. Thomas is really like. The event doesn't officially start until 10 a.m. as you know, so we're just going to give you a bit of time to complete the poll that should pop right up on your screen. That will give us an opportunity to get to know our attendees better and ensure that we're tailoring today's content to what you're interested in and where you are at in the recruitment process. With all of that said, I would like to introduce myself. My name's Cristi. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at St. Thomas in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And I would say more importantly, I'm a very proud alumna of St. Thomas. So I came to St. Thomas from Boston, where I'm originally from, and had the most wonderful experience here. Quite frankly, I cannot leave. I just love it so much. So I can't wait to get to share some of my experiences and my colleagues and current students' experiences with you today. I would like to turn things over to my friend and colleague, as well as my fellow graduate, Kaylee Moore, so she can introduce herself to you folks too.
Thanks, Cristi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first ever virtual open house. We're seeing a lot of you joining already, so thanks for coming early. Cristi and I are just going to take some time to just chat a little bit about why we chose St. Thomas, and the rest of our admissions team is in the chat, which we have enabled for you right now, so they can say hi to you, and you can chat with your respective admissions counselor. That said, I'm Kaylee Moore. I'm one of the international admissions counselors here at St. Thomas. And as Cristi mentioned, I'm also a graduate from the class of 2014. And I'm originally from the United States too. So both Cristi and I attended as international students at St. Thomas. Half of our team is actually former international students. And that's one of the benefits of having this virtual open house, despite all the challenges this year. We're so excited that students from all across the world are joining us today. And we're just really looking forward to showcasing St. Thomas a bit more with you. Yeah, so I guess while we're letting people join and we're getting started, as I said, let's talk about why we chose St. Thomas. So Cristi, why'd you choose STU?
Such a good question, and one that I've been asked for quite a while now, and I yet still do not have a succinct answer. But long story short, when I was in grade 12, I was a first generation university student. So my parents hadn't been to post-secondary education or university, and I was going in a bit blind. I'm a type A nervous Nelly, so I was looking at schools all across North America. I applied to 15 different institutions for programs all over the map. I am a huge nerd. I love to learn, and so many programs excited me. So I applied to pre-med programs, to nursing programs. I was looking at social work. I was looking at a podiatry program. So I was really all over. I also loved English and literature. I loved analyzing texts as well as society. And of course, because of these things, it was really hard for me to get a feel for exactly what I was looking for in an institution aside from programs. So it wasn't until I started doing a multitude of campus tours really all over the map that I started to, get a concrete sense of what was important to me in a post-secondary experience. It's one thing when you're reading view books and brochures and websites, you think you may want something, but until you actually get to experience the campus for yourself, it's all so abstract and foreign. So I did a bunch of tours, and then I ended up touring St. Thomas. The initial draw had to do with our gerontology program. So for those folks who aren't familiar with gerontology, which most aren't, it's a discipline that focuses on the study of aging. And it's quite a unique discipline at the undergraduate level. And yet it's a very high demand, field of work right now. So I was really intrigued by that program. And that's what drew me to STU for a campus tour. I ended up touring campus and just fell in love with everything. The people were so nice and warm. And I am here to say many years later, that is not an act. People here are the nicest people you will meet on earth. I also found that I really got to meet professors who were interested in the things I was interested in. And I think what sealed the deal for me is after my tour, I was actually in the George Martin Hall dining hall with my dad and one of STU's staff having lunch. And there weren't a lot of students on campus because exams had already happened. And because of that, we could really hear people talking in their conversations. And I overheard a couple of students debating philosophy. And as I said, I'm a bit of a nerd. So I heard that and I was like, I found my people. And, many years later, the rest is history. I would say it's the best decision of my life. I'm so glad that I found STU. I'm so glad that I took that campus tour because I'm not sure what my whole path would have looked like otherwise. So yeah, that's kind of my path to St. Thomas. What was yours like, Kaylee?
Yeah, Echo all. So yeah, this is one of the things I love talking about with students, because everyone has their own journey to get to St. Thomas. And as I mentioned, I grew up in the US, so I honestly had never even considered studying outside of my home country. It was like my senior year, grade 12, when I was kind of introduced to St. Thomas. And um, I ended up attending the fall open house that year. And that's where I really got to see STU, see the campus, get to meet people. As Cristi said, everyone is so friendly. And at first I just thought it was like, okay, yeah, they're being nice because I'm, a high schooler that's looking at the school. But that lasted throughout my 4 years, and now I continue to just like have the privilege of working with so many staff who are just so supportive and friendly, and just really care about their students' well-being. And a lot of us are alumni, so we had such a great experience at St. Thomas, and we strive to deliver that to our students that we're welcoming. So in high school, I was a student that loved everything. I loved my math and science classes and my English and history and social sciences. I was kind of all over the board, but I knew that eventually I wanted a career that would allow me to travel, meet people, tell stories. Voila. So it's really interesting what paths life can lead for you. So I ended up coming to St. Thomas for the journalism program, which we have an excellent journalism department here. The classrooms are actually in the CBC studios. So the saddest day when you graduate and you have to give back your access pass to the CBC. But luckily I have so many great connections there that I actually am borrowing lighting and equipment from them right now for this event. So the journalism program was a big draw for me. And I also felt like I was treated like an actual person when I was applying to St. Thomas. And Cristi, as someone who probably also applied in the US, I'm sure you totally understand that, the difference between like the system of admissions when you're applying, especially as an international student, and then just the warmth that St. Thomas gives to students. So I can't emphasize that enough. And I think both Cristi and I were able to get really involved on campus during our time here because we are a small school. So I'll let Cristi maybe talk about some of her involvements.
Absolutely. So maybe I'll focus on one overarching area of involvement just since we only have 4 minutes or so before the main event. But something that I really took advantage of during my time at St. Thomas is the extent to which undergraduate students are able to get meaningful on-campus employment opportunities. So as early as my first year as a St. Thomas student, I was able to get multiple on-campus jobs. So I worked for the Students Union as the yearbook editor all 4 years of my degree, which allowed me to cultivate better leadership skills. I kind of headed the yearbook committee throughout all 4 years. I got to work with the Students Union in kind of a depoliticized way. So I really loved that. I also was able to work in admissions, and I never would have thought that higher education would be something that I would become so passionate about. But through those on-campus work experiences throughout the duration of my degree, I was really able to find what is meaningful employment to me, because again, that's such an abstract concept when you're in the classroom. You think you get a sense for things, but until you're actually engaging in the work, it's very hard to put that into context. So I was able to engage in a lot of on-campus employment experiences that really helped me develop a multitude of soft transferable skills. That's something that you'll get in your 4-year Bachelor of Arts degree at STU, regardless of whether or not you engage in on-campus employment. But here I really was able to dive in. As an undergrad, I was able to work as a course assistant. So I helped faculty members develop courses, choose their readings, help them kind of cultivate assignments. And then I also was able to be a research assistant. So I assisted in the writing, editing, and publication of some original research, which again is an opportunity that often is not afforded at the undergrad level at a bigger institution that usually would go to a graduate level student. So I was so lucky to have those experiences, and they really well positioned me when I went on to my graduate degree. I had the experience of people who had already completed their master's just by virtue of both my education through my degree in academics, but also my on-campus employment experiences. So I guess that's the one involvement kind of area that I'll touch upon today. How about you, Kaylee? I know you were involved in a bunch throughout our time here.
Yeah. And I also, as someone who knows Cristi personally outside of work, I know that her STU thesis was longer than her master's thesis. So you
True.
will definitely be prepared for wherever you decide to go on to after St. Thomas. I was involved in a variety of different things. I was able to start a couple of clubs when I was a student. I started a lacrosse club for all students in the city of Fredericton. And that's one of the really great things about St. Thomas. I know we can't welcome you physically to campus today, but for those who have never been to our campus, we're in the center of Fredericton. And right next door to us is another university. And then you have a community college right across the street. And so the city is really a college town. It's young, it's vibrant, and multicultural. It's just a fun place to be a student, but also being the capital of New Brunswick, it gives you a lot of those opportunities for internships and job opportunities and networking connections. So that was something I really enjoyed. And I got really involved in that multi-campus dimension of being here at St. Thomas while loving the intimate liberal arts, small classes, academic rigor that St. Thomas offers you. So you get those, the social life of the bigger school, but the academics of the smaller school. So it's really the best of both worlds. But I, as a journalism major, was really involved in campus newspapers. I had 4 different internships throughout my degree. I had 5 different campus jobs or off-campus jobs. So there were so many opportunities to get involved in those areas. And like Cristi, I also started out in the admissions office as a campus tour ambassador. So helping show families around the campus when they would come to see it. And that's something that we're going to try to replicate virtually for you today. And if you ever want a personalized individual campus tour, we are doing virtual campus tours. You'll get 2 current student ambassadors, and they will take you through our campus virtually with videos and photos and everything that you would need to see it for yourself and ask all those questions. So we definitely recommend booking one of those, even after today, if you want to see it on a more personalized level.
Exactly. I think so much of a STU degree is having a very customized undergraduate experience. So we try to, replicate that throughout the duration of the admissions process. So your tour will be personalized to whatever your needs, interests, passions are. And if you're not sure what your passions are just yet, don't worry. You'll have plenty of time to figure those out and make sense of them throughout the duration of your degree. And even hopefully today, you might get a sense for something that really piques your interest.